Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Like I said in the last video, this video is going to be covering more of the ways of attack, or the 4 ways that you can mainly attack an opponent. I've already covered in zone 1 of this series, video 1 of this series, the various strikes. So if you missed that video, obviously go back and watch that because I'll be taking those strikes and applying them here. So, like I said, there's 4 main ways that you can attack an opponent, okay? The first one is obviously just a single based attack, okay? You're just taking one attack and attacking the opponent, okay? This could be any of the zone basic attacks. This could be an overhead, zone 2, 3, 4, whatever. It's just a single attack. This is good for telling how your opponent reacts to attacks. You know, do they sidestep? Do they go for just your strength-based blocks? Do they go for deflection blocks? It's really good for determining how an opponent moves, how an opponent defends themselves, if they move a lot, if they're more stationary, that kind of thing, okay? So that's your first way of attack, is just a single-based attack, okay? Second form of attack is a combination attack, and this is mostly what you'll see in choreography, more so than actual dueling, because dueling, a lot of people will go for just a single attack and get out really quick. Combinations you'll see more in choreography because it typically looks better, it keeps the pace flowing more. So you'll see several strikes to an area, you know, an overhead into an impale, that kind of thing. You'll also see combinations done with blocks. One example would be, you know, a strike to zone 3, carry that around to a zone 3 deflect into an overhead, okay? So strike, deflect, strike, okay? So you'll see a lot of that, like I said, in choreography because it looks good, it keeps the pace moving, okay? Third type of attack is what's called an indirect attack. This would be your classic feint in fencing. You can also think of it as like a misdirection attack, or a kind of like a mislead. And what that is you're essentially faking one attack and then coming in for another. And what it is it's used to draw the opponent into a particular movement so you can create an opening, okay? A really good one is actually if you're facing off and you go like you're actually going to strike for a zone 1 attack, okay? What you can do is you can actually, instead of going for that zone 1, as you come up, you're actually switching to reverse grip and then going for a stab. So that would look like, this would be your classic attack, and that would be the feint, okay? So what you're doing is you're essentially trying to get the opponent to think that you're going for a zone 1 attack, which would create them to do some sort of movement bringing their saber up to block, okay? Which creates this massive opening down here. So you're taking advantage of that by quickly switching to reverse grip and stabbing in their midsection, their leg, whatever, okay? Another form of that would be, let's say, like if I'm getting ready to go for a zone 3 attack around the head, okay? If I go for that movement, okay, that's going to make the opponent think, hey, he's coming for a zone 3 attack, I need to block zone 3. But if I stop that and just go for a zone 2, same difference, okay? What you've done is you've tricked the opponent into thinking he's going for a zone 3 attack, I'll block this way, which creates an opening on his other side, which you can just take advantage of by stopping and going for that other attack, okay? So an indirect attack is any attack that creates an opening by using a misdirection, okay? It's fooling the opponent into thinking you're doing one thing when essentially you're doing another, okay? That's the third way of attack. The fourth is an attack by drawing. It's a drawing attack, it's a bait, so to speak. What that is like if you're facing off, like if you were my opponent and I'm facing off with you, what I'm essentially doing in this form of attack is I'm exposing one part of my body, okay? So for this one, it would be like my right shoulder, okay? So instead of facing off directly in front of you, I might slightly angle myself to present an opening for you. And what you're hoping to do in this attack is to bait the opponent to attack that region that you're leaving open so you can quickly counterattack, okay? So if I bait you with my right shoulder and you attack to it, I obviously have the advantage because I know what you're going to be doing. I know what you're going to be attacking, so I can counter that however I want, okay? That one's a little more advanced. It does take some practice, but it is very, very handy for actual dueling. That's not something you're going to see a lot in choreography because it's a very subtle thing to pick up on. You will see it used occasionally in fencing, but that is something more for actual dueling. Anytime you can get your opponent to do something specific that you want them to do, you immediately gain the advantage. And by that last form of attack, what you're hoping to do is gain that advantage by tricking your opponent into doing what you want them to do. So like I said, another form of that would be if I kind of keep my saber low to expose my top half. Obviously that's going to create some openings, so you know, or you can essentially guess that the opponent is either going to do a zone 1, a zone 3, or a zone 2 attack, and you can counter however you want, okay? So again, that's the 4 basic forms of attack. Just to quickly recap, you have just a single attack. You know, again, this is one you'll see mostly used in actual sparring or dueling because people, they like to strike once, get out, kind of get a feel for what the opponent does, strike again, get out. Then there's the attack by combination, you know, which is something you'll see a lot in dueling and in choreography, again because it kind of keeps the pace moving. That indirect attack, which is the feint, so I could feint you one way, come in another, that kind of thing, that's a misdirection. And that one falls in line with the last one, that attack by drawing, both of those which what you're trying to essentially do is trick the opponent into doing one thing so you can do something else, okay? So that's the 4 basic ways of attack. You can apply those however you want. They're very, very useful in sparring. In the next video, I will start getting into the advantages and disadvantages of the different saber types, like single saber, staff, dual sabers, etc. So stay tuned for that one, and I'll see you in the next one.